Hey folks, this is Rob from LearnByTheDrop.com, a place to learn Drupal. And this is lesson 15 of my Getting Started with Drupal video series. And we're going to cover in this lesson building communities, starting your community with Drupal. Now, the word community means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, and one of the great things about Drupal is that it has a myriad of functionality that allows you to create a community in different ways. So this is just one way that we can start to build a community on our Drupal website. There's certainly many ways to do it, so I recommend that in addition to this particular video that you also explore modules available on Drupal.org, as well as there's a lot of documentation there that will talk about many techniques for creating community. Some of the things that we're going to look at in this video as far as creating a community involve some of the basics. Allowing people to sign up for your website without any approvals required, so people can sign up and create a profile. Opening up a forum area so that people have a place where they can start their own posts and discussions. Sections of website where people can look at lists of recent content and recent comments added by different users. And also being able to get functionality that allows you to get automatic updates, that allows users to get updates for comments that are posted on the site. So those are just some of the things that can help to foster a community on your Drupal website. And let's get headed over to our test website and get started. Okay, so we're on our test Drupal website, and the first thing that we're going to want to do is configure ourselves a couple of modules that are going to make building our community a little bit easier. We're going to go to Site Building Modules List, and we're going to get a couple of different modules, a couple of different core modules activated. The first one is going to be Forum, which enables threaded discussions about topics, and that depends on taxonomy and comment, which are already enabled. And then we're also going to add the tracker module, which allows tracking of recent posts for users, so that it'd be very easy for visitors or members of the community to see what types of things people have been posting on the site. So we're going to get started with those, and we'll come down to the end and save our configuration. Okay, so once our configuration options have been saved, the next thing that we're going to want to do is head over to Site Configuration, and then we're going to want to deal with any configuration that's necessary for the Forum module. Let's go to Content Management, Content Types, Edit Forum Topic, and we want to make sure that now that we've created a forum section, we want to make sure that the settings for the forum content type are just the way we want them. So name, forum topic, the description is very basic. We don't really need to change that. We've got submission form settings. We can change these if we want. We're going to leave them as is. We can add submission guidelines if we like. So for example, we could put in something that says, please submit only content that is to the website. If you post spam, your account will be deleted. And you can put anything in there that you want. Comment settings. So in this case, because it's a forum where we're going to want commenting to be available. Do we want to have it to be a flat list or a threaded list? I always like a threaded list. Do we want newest first and oldest first? I kind of like having oldest first so that people can see the order of the comments, and this way they can catch the flow of the conversation. Comments per page. Do you want there to be any comment controls? And I'm going to say no. We're going to have the comment subject enabled. We're going to have required preview of the comment, and this way people don't submit things without taking a look at them first, and it just makes it easier to make sure that comments have less typos and have the content that they intended. And then the location of the submission form, here it's set to display on a separate page, but if we can make it easier by saying display below the post or comment. Okay, once we've taken care of the comments, we can then look at ratings. If we want, we can enable 5-star ratings, and why not? We can enable ratings on the comments as well, and we're just going to leave this as it is, but that it is enabled. It also enable 5-star for comments will display a ratings widget when user posts a comment. We're going to leave that disabled, but and then in the workflow settings, what will be the default option when somebody saves it? In this case, we'll say published. We don't want to change that. We could promote new posts to the front page. We're not going to do that right now. And then we can also allow or not attachments. In this case, let's say we want to be safe and we don't think that we need attachments, so we're just going to disable attachments and we're going to save that content type. Okay, once we've made sure that the forum topic content type looks the way we want it to, next thing we're going to want to do is go over to Content Management Forums, and then we're going to click List. And we're not going to see anything here, because what you need to do within Drupal is you either need to add containers, which are sort of forum areas, and then forums inside those containers. Now, if we want it to be really, really simple, we don't really need to create a container. What we can do is just add a forum. And we can just click that here and say add forum, and we'll call this forum name general topics, and our description can be talk about whatever you want. And this doesn't have a parent, and you can also state which order you want this forum to be displayed in, and we'll click Save. And then we can add another forum if we want, and we could say, this is for customer feedback, and you could say isn't for feedback from our customers. And we could save that as well. And if we want, we can reorder these. For example, I can drag general topics and that'll be the first form that people see. We click Save. Now let's take a look at the settings. So you got some basic settings here. The number of posts a topic must have to be considered hot, the number of topics per page, which you can change, and then the default order for the topics. And so we can have newest first or oldest first. In this case, we're going to stick with date newest first. So we really didn't make any changes there. Now, once we've added the forum, now another thing that we want to think about are the URLs for the forum posts. Now, if you remember, we have from earlier, we set up the Path Auto module on this site. So one thing that we'd want to do is just make sure that our Path Auto or URL aliases are what we want them to be. So if we go to let's go up to Site Building, URL aliases, automated alias settings. We can then select forum path settings. So then we could say, patterns for forum and forum containers, which we'll just keep this the way it is. But if we go over to node path settings, so for example, we could select a pattern for all of our forum topic paths. In this case, we can select our replacement patterns. We can select if we want, for example, forum topic, and then if we want, we could put in the title. title raw. So what this is doing is it's just defining the link to each of the topics that's on the forum, what that's going to look like. So let's save that. Okay. Now, what I should be able to do as the super user is I should just be able to go over to my site/forum, and we can see our forums right there that we set up. So the next thing we're going to want to do so that people can get to this and they can see it from the front page is we're going to want to add forum to the primary links up here. So let's go over to site building, menus, list menus, go to our primary links, and we're going to add an item. We're going to call it forum. And our path is just going to be forum, and we're going to call it forum. We're going to say is a link to a community forum. Parent item is going to be primary links. We're going to save that. Okay, now if we want to, we can change this order. So let's say we want to move that above contact, and we can save that configuration. Okay, so now we see that up here in the menu. We have home, about, blog, forum, and then contact. Okay, so now that we've got this forum set up, there's a couple things that we need to do if we want people to have access to the forum. First of all, we need to give people the permissions to access the forum, and we also have to give people the permissions to actually create their own accounts on the site so that they can post topics to the forum, because we're going to make this basically posting to the forum is going to be available to users only, and that's part of the community building aspect of it, is that people need to sign up if they want to be able to post to the forum. Okay, so what we want to do is head over to user management and permissions, and we're going to want to review our permissions for our authenticated users, because the role that is going to be assigned to people when they sign up is going to be authenticated user. In a previous lesson, we added our editor user, and we're going to want to make sure that they can get access to the forum. So we're going to scroll down here to forum module, and so the authenticated user is going to be able to create forum topics. We're also going to update our editor as well to make sure they can do that. They're not going to be able to delete any forum topic, but the editors will. We will allow them to delete their own forum topic. We'll allow the editors to edit any, and we'll also allow the authenticated users to edit their own. So the new users who create on the site are going to be able to create forum topics. They're going to be able to delete their own, and they're going to be able to edit their own forum topics. So we're going to want to save that. Okay, now another thing that we're going to want to do before we move on to giving users access is we're also going to want to edit the settings of Malum, which was our spam module, to make sure that our spam module covers the forum as well, and that we just have the settings that that we're looking for. Okay, so here if we go down towards the bottom, we see our spam protection settings, and here we have protect forum topic form. So now, since only registered users are going to be using the site, we're just going to have a text analysis and then CAPTCHA backup, which means that it won't show a CAPTCHA to the user right away, but if the text is analyzed by the server and it looks like it might be spam, then it will throw back a CAPTCHA. We could go with no protection if we wanted to, since only registered users are going to be involved with this, but sometimes people sign up and they throw spam at you anyway. But you just want to make sure that that's set before you move forward. Okay, so now that we have our spam settings checked, the next thing that we're going to want to do is go to user management and then user settings. Okay, now this is very important because this is the step where you actually allow people to sign up for your site. So here we have only site administrators can create new user accounts, which is the most secure setting, but it does not help you build a community. What many people would want is visitors can create accounts and no administrator approval is required. I like to require email verification when a visitor creates an account, and again, that's just another step that makes sure that it's not spam. And we can change our guidelines now and say, please register if you would like to post to the forum. And connect with other users. Actually, users sounds a little bit too stuffy. We'll call them members. Okay. Now they're going to get an email that will be sent to them, and you have basically a standard email that's set up here when a new user account is set up. And I'm not going to change this right now, but you may want to come in here and take a look and see if you want to customize this email that goes to new users of your site. Signature support. Let's say we enable signature support, which allows people to add a standard signature at the end of their post. Our picture settings are set to enabled. One thing that we may want to do is up this maximum file size. Instead of 30 kilobytes, let's say 300 kilobytes. And we could tell users, please don't upload anything naughty. And a lot of this is about making sure that that you're communicating with your users every step of the way, that they understand the guidelines of your site, and that there's no confusion about what it means to be a member of the community and what you expect from people. So we're going to save that configuration. Okay, so now that we've saved that, we're pretty much ready to go in letting people get started on the site. Now, one thing that we do need to do is we actually need to add a login box, which is something that we can do in the block section, and this way, people will know that they can create an account and log in on this site. So if we go to Site Building Blocks List, and we scroll down, and we see we have this user login block. Let's configure that. And we don't necessarily have to give it a title starting out. What we want to make sure is it's on the pages, specific pages. We're going to put it on the front page, and we're also going to put it on the forum page. And we want to show this block for specific roles. We're not going to mess with that. But one thing you can do is that if somebody has a particular role, you can show a block or not. And then we can call this block login, please. And users cannot control whether they see it. And we're going to save it, and then we're going to activate it. So this block will only show on the front page and the forum page because we made that setting. So user login, we can then take that and drag it, and we can make that on the top left, and then we can save the blocks, and let's take a look at that. Okay, so now that we've got the user login block placed, if someone is not logged into the site, they should see the user login block. So let's log out. And you can see the name login, please, that we set, username and password. And here's where you can create a new account. You can also request your password. And we shouldn't see it on the About page, but we should see it on the forum page. Okay, and you can see here it says log in to post new content to the forum. And you can see here that if it comes here, it asks us to log in. If we don't, if we don't have an account, we can click on create a new account. And then we can do that with username, email address, and we also have this word verification, which is something that we had set up earlier with the Malum plugin, and that's going to help us cut down on any possible spam. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a couple of user accounts and then come back. Okay, so I've created at least one new user on the site, and I've also put a post or two in the forums as well. And so now, we can look at some of the other things that are going to help make this a more cohesive community. The first thing is we probably want to spruce up this forum page a little bit, and one of the things that we can do is we can add recent forum topics, and we can also add the online Who's Online Now block to this page. So if we go over to site building blocks and we list our blocks, we can then go over to the, let's see, Who's Online, and configure that, and make sure that this is not only shown on the front page, but it's shown on the forum as well. And we want to save that. And then we can also have recent forum topics displayed. And we can have new forum topics. Let's configure that, and we'll show that on the forum page. And this will be recent topics. And we can show up to 20. Let's just show 5 for now. And we want to show that only on the listed pages. And that's going to be forum. And we'll save that, and then we're going to place that. So, new forum topics, and we're going to want that up in sidebar first. And maybe we'll place that below navigation. And let's save that and see how our page looks now. Okay, so we can see if somebody comes to this page, they can see the recent topics, and I've just added this topic, which is welcome. We've got the rating there that we said we wanted, and we've also got the comment box beneath it. And if I come back to my other user here, I'm going to go into another browser that I'm logged in as, I can have them add a topic in, let's say, customer feedback. And the subject's going to be I love your products, because we always want positive customer feedback. We can add some text in there, preview that. And click Save. Okay, now if we go back to our forums, we can see that we now have those two links there. Now, another thing that we've also added is we added the tracker module as well. Now, what tracker does is it helps people to get a feel for what has been added by a user to a site. So, for example, if we go to look at this profile here, and we select track, and that's something new because of tracker, we can then see a list of all the posts that this person has added to the site, and we can go directly to those. In addition to that, we can also go over to our site address slash tracker and show everything that has been added to the site as well. So if we want, well, another thing that we could do is we could put a link directly to this, your site URL slash tracker, and people could then see, all the recent comment that was added to the site. In this case, and that would include, blog posts and things, and so, all of the recent content added to the site. So we could use that as well. So that's one way that the tracker module helps to foster a community, is it just makes it really easy for people to look at what different contributors on the site have written, and they can see that content, and then they can also utilize that. Now, as a user on the site, another thing, if I go and I look at somebody's profile, each one of the settings in each of the profiles is, can other users contact you? And if a user allows that, I could come to another user's profile. In this case, I'm logged in as David Wright, and select the contact link on their profile, and put in a subject there, and send them a message directly. So this ability to contact other users outside of email is another way to help foster community on your Drupal site. And I could say, just wanted to say that I really like your posts, David. And you could say, send yourself a copy, and that'd send an email to that particular user's email account, and it will tell you that the message has been sent. And actually, if I go back and look at my account, click to my account here, I can show you what settings on the account that the user checked in order to make that happen. So for example, we can create a signature here. You can also choose to select node follow-up notifications, and also check this box to receive email notification for follow-up comments, and that was via a module that we had actually set up earlier. And I could say, yes, I want to see notifications for, let's just say, replies to my comment. And I could select my personal contact form, and if I select that personal contact form, other users in the community can contact me. So I'm just going to click Save. Okay, so now I'm going to switch back over to my admin account. And one of the things it actually just reminded me was, previously we had set up the, now this is my admin account, was one of the previous modules that we had added was the comment notify module, which will allow people to check if they want to be notified for comments. In this case, we'd also want to set it up to allow that for forum topics as well. So we go to that and then basically say save configuration. And so that's something, the automatic saving of comments, the automatic replies to comments is something that, again, can keep people, coming back to your site. Okay, so now we're also getting a message that's basically telling us that there's a conflict with some of our settings, that we allow anonymous users to subscribe to comments, but that anonymous users don't have access to the forum topics. So, we have two choices. One of them is we could turn this off for the forum topics, or we could go to user management and not allow anonymous users to subscribe to comments. And so I think that's the easiest way to go right now. And again, if people, now that we have the option of joining up, which we didn't have previously, this then allows, gives people an option who want to subscribe to comments, and that they can sign up for the site. So if we go back to comment notify, now that we've changed that setting, we shouldn't see that message anymore. So, I think one of the important things to point out is that every action that you take in moving into a community site, you might have to go back and reevaluate things like permissions, things like your spam modules, things like settings on a variety of different modules on your Drupal website. Okay, so if we want to just take a quick basic look at how the comment notify functionality works, for example, if I go over to a blog, or actually even to one of the forum topics, and I can see that, we got this customer feedback from a user. I can look at the user's profile. They've got their picture. They've got some information about them. I can track the different posts that they've made recently. I can contact them via the contact form. And that's all well and good. But let's say I want to go back to their post. Click on that. And I want to reply to that. And I can then reply to that comment and say, thank you. We appreciate your feedback. And then at the bottom here, I can see I have this option, notify me when new comments are posted. All comments replies to my comment. In this case, I could say I want to see all comments to this thread. I preview it. It's got my picture there. And I can save it. And you can see it also added my signature to that comment as well. And this is a signature that I have set up in my profile. If I go to my profile and I go to edit, I've got the signature set up there. Robert Saffuto, comma, ESQ for Esquire. So there's a number of really basic things that you can do to, get started building your community on your Drupal site. We've looked at, getting your forum started. And that's one very important thing. Set up a forum, allow users to create their own accounts. In previous lessons, we've looked at setting up profiles, so you can set up your user profile so that people can supply enough information, like an image and a bio about themselves, that can allow people to connect. Things like the contact form as well, which is something we set up previously. These are all things that can get you started on a way to your community with your Drupal site. Now, another thing is what is it that you're presenting as far as information. So when we're here on the home page, we can see recent comments. That helps to build community because people can then go to those comments and start exploring members. We can see who's online. That builds a community aspect because people can then explore the accounts of users who are online. When we have a link to the forum section on the front page, and then we have the list of those recent topics. And then people can go in and explore. And to me, community is really about just creating the different conditions that allow people to connect on your site. And I think the core of it is people being able to create their own accounts, upload a picture, put info about themselves, link to sites that they are affiliated with, and then also things like having the ability to track what they've posted, and also to add a contact form. Now, if we wanted to take it a step further, we could add things like private messaging so that people could private message and have an inbox within the site. And the difference between private messaging and the contact form is the contact form sends an email. Private messaging just sends them a message that they would pick up when they come to the website. Okay, well, that's that's going to be all for this particular lesson of getting started with Drupal video series, a lesson 15, building community site, or at least getting started building a community site. There are many more things that you can do with your community site as well. So I recommend that you go over to Drupal.org, start exploring a lot of the different modules that are out there. But this is a very basic, very quick way to get started and have your site morph from being just a site where you post content and people comment to a community where people can sign up, people can have a profile, people can start their own posts, and that can help you to build a community around your content. So thanks again for watching. Head over to learnbythedrop.com for many more videos and other posts that will help you to learn Drupal.